There is an enrollment tutorial if you want to write this website down, registrar.ucsd.edu/student-link WebReg right. What it is, it'll tell you exactly how to enroll in classes on WebReg. So when you look onto the website, there's a link on the left-hand side that'll say WebReg, and that's how you actually sign up for classes. So it's going to teach you how to go through all that and show you how to organize your class planner, which is pretty much an online calendar to show you what classes that you have, so make sure that you don't overlap times, things like that. Checking availability for classes, waitlisting if the class is full, we'll go into that a little bit more. Grading options, whether you want to take to a class for a grade or pass, no pass. Adding, dropping classes, lectures versus discussions, again we'll go into that a little bit later, and the W policy. So what we're going to cover right now in these next few slides are just really key elements of how to register, but again, the tutorial is going to give you a lot more detail than what we're going to give you here, all right? So this is pretty much when you go onto the website and you actually click on WebReg, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see what quarter it is that you're trying to sign up for. Yeah, thanks, Christina. I'm not tall enough to reach that, so Christina's going to help me out a little bit. So what you're all going to do is want to choose fall quarter since you're going to be coming in the fall. And over on this side is what the departments are that you're going to want to get classes from. So if you're, for example, an anthropology major, you want to scroll down to one of these and choose that, and that's going to show you what classes are available. Again, on this side, there's also whether you want to choose lower division or upper division or specific types of courses, kind of what Sarah was explaining. Which ones are lower is the 1 to 99, and then upper division is 100 to 199. Yeah, let's see. So down here it's going to show you like how to select, kind of like filter through classes to see what classes still have seats available or not, and also whether you want to show it in a window. So that's just like little options that we try to make it a little bit easier for you all to kind of go through classes. And once you, let me go back really quickly. So once you actually go through this and press search, let's say for example you choose math, since that's on the next slide. So, ta-da, you're in math now. This is the page that's going to show up, and it's going to show you that you chose fall quarter, you're in math, and you're in lower division since it's 1 unit, so 99. Up here is all information from the department. So this is stuff you're going to want to read. We don't have any control over this. This is something that, for example, this is math department's requirements, regulations, things like that. So it's something important to read before you actually start signing up for classes, which is down here. Okay? So if you can kind of visualize, if you were to scroll down from where it said math up there, this is kind of a list of all the classes that will show up right below that. You're going to see that here's the section number. Usually when you go onto WebReg, this is going to show up as a hyperlink. So when you click on that, that means that you're choosing that to sign up for that class, okay? And then over here on this side is we'll show you how many seats are available, and then on the right side it'll show you how many seats are taken or full, things like that, okay? So that's about it so far with that. And there's some differences between departments and different classes. Sometimes it'll have a lecture that you will sign up for, or it'll have discussions that you sign up for. So what the difference is for lectures are really large classes, sometimes 300 to 500 students. Those are lectures, they're really large classes. And the professor is lecturing, just teaching. And that happens like on a weekly, maybe three times a week, so we can see what days there are and what times are available. The discussions, what it is a breakdown from that larger group. So out of the 500, they'll maybe separate it into subclasses, like 20 people per class. So just so you can kind of maybe ask questions, go over homework. You get usually the TAs are teaching that class, so you can ask them questions a little bit more on a smaller class basis as opposed to the big lecture. Does that make kind of sense? All right. So depending on what department or what classes that you're taking, sometimes they'll just do it. You'll sign up for the lecture, and then you can choose which discussion you can go to, or the lectures are static and you choose what discussions you're going to go to. this is what's going to look like when you're adding classes. So for example, if you were to click on a class and it says the section is full, it'll allow you to waitlist for a class. So what that is, like the section's full, you can waitlist to kind of see if maybe somebody in the class might want to drop out, and then you can take that spot. So that's kind of pretty much what waitlist means, but do you want to jump in on that a little bit more? Oh, you can only enroll in 19 units during the enroll time. So you can't, so if, let's say you wanted to play a little bit with your schedule and see what fits in your schedule or not, you can enroll in up to 19 units, and then you can kind of drop them from there down to 12 or down to 16, depending on what you're comfortable with. But you can also kind of like play with the classes and see what's available, what's not.
But waitlisted courses count into that larger 19 units. You can't just waitlist a bunch of classes. So really be careful in terms of the waitlist, because if there's an open section you just don't like the time, this quarter you just, like I said before, really want to be flexible, because I promise you, you can come knock on my door if it's not as easy, but winter quarter, your enrollment time will be a lot earlier, and this is based on the amount of units you have coming in. So it's all about how many units you have in your standing, your class standing. So this quarter, just be flexible. If it's an 8 a.m. class, you may just have to go. And then winter quarter, you can schedule 3 o'clock classes around the board, but you really want to be flexible, and because the wait list can be tricky, okay? So what happens is, if you are on a wait list and you get into the class, you'll have an email sent to you, and it automatically puts you in that class. But if you don't want that class anymore, you have to drop it, because it will automatically add you. So you really want to be careful of these things, because it's nice that it's automated, but it's also up to you to just be aware of what's going on.
And another thing to keep in mind when you start thinking about registering for classes and things like that, kind of what Sarah says, make sure that the time is something that fits into your schedule, and then the class calendar that they give to you will kind of help you. It'll show up with red if you have overlapping classes at the same time, or it'll just tell you you need to drop one in order to make your schedule fit. Okay. Also, making sure where the class is located. You don't want to be running across campus diagonally and all over just so you can get to class. You want to make sure that you know where the buildings are, and maybe you can find ones that are closer to each other. Okay.